Hopefully everyone can hear me. Welcome to the session we have today on Unreal meets the Metasite, Metaverse, and we'll talk about Metasites, which is Xsolla's solution for it. Key concept is that you play on cloud in 3D, so it's instantly accessible, and we have sharing, and most importantly, it's about sharing with friends, all part of the Metaverse concept. So we'll introduce Xsolla, we'll introduce the Metaverse, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the proposition. I will, and then Michael will talk about the technology that underpins Metasites. So firstly, Xsolla is a globally leading video games commerce company. It's known for its payments. We have over 1,000 payment types. We're in 15 global offices, and we've been in operation, for 20 years. We're the largest merchant of record in the games industry, and we're also the largest provider of web shops, having processed over 1.5 billion since 2022. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about how Xsolla is broadening beyond payments into other services that actually support the distribution and monetization of games for studios, whether that's a developer or a publisher. Conceptually talking about the metaverse. Oh, beg your pardon. I know that. Yep, sorry, I just hadn't seen it like that before. Slight shock. Right, so Metasite is a metaverse, and a metaverse is, there's been a lot of hype about it, quietened down more recently, but the projected revenue for 2025 this year is over $100 billion worth of revenue, and $92 per person that's actually interacting with metaverses. That's a very large number. I do question that number, but I'm just presenting it. I can't see it myself unless you include the likes of Fortnite and Roblox, and then probably you are going to get there. For me, the narrative is strong for metaverses, but the execution to date has really been so indifferent. And some of that is because of the closed manner through hardware or platform. I would still say that metaverses are very much in experimental phase. There are lots of different applications, but the issue is there's been no killer application today. And also, they definitely have been beaten up by AI. So AI came after, and the benefit to every part of business in the games industry from AI has totally surpassed metaverses. So metaverses are very much on the back burner, on the defensive. That's not to say we don't believe in what a metaverse is and what the principles are, which is interconnected, immersive experiences, user interaction, 3D avatars, user-directed content, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, and massive multiplayer, which is basically what we will talk about today, is basically what we've built. So we've built a metaverse which we want it to be a thriving space for creators and players to collaborate, explore, and reward. This is Metasites. We're trying to build a discovery-first ecosystem. We're basically building a place where studios, individual creators, game teams, and broader creators can basically showcase their content on Metasites. And with that, we basically bring the infrastructure and the platform to make it work. So focus currently on Unreal, which is why we're here talking about it, but we will add in different platforms later. It's a cloud-based platform, so we'll talk about it shortly, but it's open, it's accessible to everyone, it instantly plays. And for the creator, you can demo, share, collect feedback, monetize, and grow your community. So it's very much about acquisition and retention for you guys. Let me check my list. Yep. So let's move on to for me, there are some really important tenets of what we've tried to build. First tenet is cloud platform. Why is this important? Because it reduces the barrier to entry, right? So you can instantly play. So there's no download, no install. It's accessible on many different platforms, so PC, mobile, tablet, smart TV. So it's experienced instantly, and most importantly, it's open, right? So that means you as a creator on our platform have a link And from that link, you go straight to your Metasite, right? So there's no need for a set of goggles. There's no need to sign into a platform, gaming platform like Roblox. You go straight in and your experience is there for the consumer. It's brilliant. And there's no hardware requirements because it's being played off a cloud server. So it's open and it's accessible. Secondly, just make sure this is going to load. There are other sites that do a really great job of basically showcasing what creators can do, such as 80 Level or ArtStation. But those are choreographed experiences. We believe on the right-hand side, it is actually a Ready Player Me demo, but we believe that the player should choose their own journey through your creative. So they should have the freedom to explore, and they should have the freedom to call their friends in and basically share your experience, what you've created, because it's much more powerful when there's more than one, right? So they create your own journey, determine their own destiny. Excuse me, I'm gonna have a quick sip. And with life, everything is better shared. So from our perspective, Metasites are better shared. So we have massive multiplayer. We can cope with tens of thousands of people running concurrently in the same space. We're working, and Michael will talk about our partnership with Metagravity on that. We believe in user interaction. So we support spatial kind of player voices, etc., which is important as our aspiration is to basically run concerts in here. So I can talk to Michael, and that's going to be important because I can share, whereas I can actually hear people around me. So it feels like very much like you would if you're going to a gig, but actually most important, you hear the gig, you hear the band and the music. So spatial sound is important, and avatars for any community is really important because that's about self-expression of the player or the creator in that space. So these are really important things for us is the openness that cloud presents to us, the ability to share. So when you look at Metaverse, there are a number of tenets that basically people always feel are really important. And so interconnected worlds, which we have immersive experiences, which is basically giving the player the ability to navigate their own journey. We've got user interaction, we've got 3D avatars, and we have massive multiplayer. The thing that we need to generate or develop is our user directed content. And we talk about user directed because it's very much going to be community. So we are looking for all types of content to basically put up on the site and host so that we can see what's interesting. So if you have projects which are you're pushing the paradigm, then please come and talk to us because that's the type of stuff that we want to be able to showcase. And I'll talk shortly about our partnership with 80 Level. And hopefully you guys know about 80 Level, which is an industry site. They will talk about your journey publishing the Metasite and the process and the program that you followed to get there. With Xsolla, we basically provide lots of flexible monetization models. So there's not a subscription to be seen. This is about there's effectively for any creator, there's no cost of being on our platform. We share the revenue with you, but we'll take the hosting costs once we all start earning. So basically, we host for free, which is great, and then we have a friendly development model which allows us to recover some of our revenues in time, and we're expanding as well. So one of the things that Xsolla does is it does Xsolla funding in the games industry, so we can actually help if you've got projects that you need money for, we can basically host and have funding buttons which actually kind of allow you obviously to fund it and kind of progress your journey. That's what we do because that's kind of Xsolla's core. So what's our opportunity and how are we launching? So there are 3 things we're doing. So we're currently looking for 3D creators and game studios to partner with us to showcase what's possible from a Metasites perspective. Secondly, we will be seeding with 80 Level, who are an Xsolla partner company. So that part of what the early adopters do is get support through that. And we're hoping to get some support from ArtStation as well. And then Xsolla brings the tech and the platform, which Michael will talk about shortly. And that's kind of our core capability. What I would also add is the, actually, no, I'll do it on the next slide, actually. So this is the sweet spot where Metasites is going to be launched, where we're bringing kind of interesting, unusual ideas, concepts. We're seeding it with an engaged audience. And then Xsolla brings its monetization and community features. And some of the things that we will be bringing to this is effectively rewards mechanisms, or quests, which Michael will talk about, which are really interesting because think egg hunts that allow us to basically drop rewards into different metasites, which basically helps us with retention and moving people between the interconnection, but also for you guys, it's a really good way of doing user acquisition and getting people familiar with your works. So that's where Metasites is. It's in this sweet spot, we hope, and it's basically very much focused on Unreal right now. So from my perspective, I'm going to just kind of summarizing the proposition right now. For the creators, we've tried to make it as easy as possible. It's easy onboarding. You create an account, you put your binary on our drop site, and it's off. That's all you need to do, other than then start to communicate where it is. We give you a URL back, and then you can push that to your community, your social. We cover the hosting costs until you earn. We have interaction and feedback, so you can interact with the community in your site as well, and you'll get feedback from the community. It's got built-in monetization. It's easy for you guys, and then for the players, it's browse with no need to download or install. It's just you go straight inside that metaverse, and then once you're there, you're then able to interconnect with all other metasites that are out there. You pay for what you want to play, right? I should probably just elaborate that effectively it works with free minutes. So you can have you can set like 5 minutes of free play or 10 minutes of free play, or free viewing, however you want to do it. And so as a consumer, I don't actually have to. I can get to that point and go, actually, I'm really enjoying this. I'm going to continue, and then you kind of continue to play. And then the creator gets rewarded for that. And it's community-powered discovery through sharing and feedback. So that's really what we're trying to build, is this platform that's around discovery and exploration of UE content. So it's Unreal content. So it's very broad. It doesn't need to be just. I think if you go to the site now, you'll see a lot of 3D landscapes. That's just illustrative to get your ideas going, but we can go much broader than that. So I am now going to hand it to Michael to take you through the technology behind the proposition.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Broderick. So I am the lead engineer on the Metasites project at Xsolla. And I'm going to show you a bit about the features of the Metasite platform, how to use our Unreal Engine plugin, and how to launch your Metasite. So yeah, we'll start with our core features, and we're going to take a look at those tools that we've built to help facilitate an open ecosystem. And after that, we'll look at our features that are in development to give you a view into what's coming next. And we'll cover the scale problem. So that's our solution for hosting massive crowds in these shared virtual spaces. And then next we'll cover how to get started with our Unreal Engine project, or plugin rather, and finally how to deploy your Metasite. Yeah, so to start off with our core features, we have a pretty solid foundation that will quickly enable creators of all skill levels to join and use Metasites as a launch platform. And we have several others on our roadmap that are kind of nearing completion. So at Xsolla, we have some of those products that are in development that will be used by Metasites, but they're actually kind of built for all games and all developers as well. So yeah, currently we have avatars, the portals, links, and communication tools, and multiplayer systems. And so one of our goals is to find and connect with more partners and to allow for that interoperability where you can pick and choose what features you want with a few clicks of a button. So to start with, first is how we've implemented avatars. It's an optional feature for Metasites, and we've given creators the ability to currently launch with Ready Player Me. And players who visit your Metasite will get to bring their avatar with them and have a consistent identity across all Metasites. So we've taken the effort out of this integration and really optimized the avatars to support scale better. And we've also integrated the actual menu and the configuration of the avatar into the web layer. So this runs in the actual browser on the client side. And so the users will be able to go on their phone or tablet and have a more natural, responsive layout. And that's compared to, you don't have to do any input or programming of the avatar system within the game stream. And then if they're on their phone, it's not scaled properly and it's pretty hard to configure. So this makes it a lot easier for you. And really all you have to do is use our supplied character-based classes, and you kind of get that functionality out of the box. As I mentioned, we want to let users have that consistent identity. So using Ready Player Me or any other system we have. We store that avatar data within our system and handle that replication across all Metasites. In the future, so we're building a custom solution as well from the MetaHuman base. And especially now with 5.6 bringing all the MetaHuman tools within Engine and letting everyone have access to it really easily. And features like Chaos Cloth and Houdini are really going to make it possible to put these things at a scale that we're interested in. So we believe it will be really easy for creators to utilize these MetaHuman systems. And so we're also looking at partners like Altaba. So that's a system that allows you to have the same avatar in multiple game styles. And it uses actually AI to generate the texture and kind of give you that consistent identity without the developer having to maintain such a complex asset system of having so many different avatars. In the end, these are kind of all optional features for Metasites. And some Metasites won't use avatars at all, but they'll be an important feature for creators who want to have those avatars that match their project style. Next up, I'm going to talk a bit about how we've brought interconnectivity to all the Metasites and how we've implemented the two features for this. So first is our portal system. As we kind of tested out Metasites, it became apparent early on that without the ability to jump from world to world in a seamless way, it often feels like closed off or finite. To let users continue kind of exploring and continuing on in a 3D format, we built these portals that let you kind of instantly jump to any other Metasite. And this encourages collaboration with other creators where you guys can decide to link your Metasites and drive users to each other. And it allows the players to actually just continue navigating in 3D. They won't have to, go back and start using their mouse again to navigate and find a new site to go to. So from the creator perspective, this is really easy to implement. We have example blueprints in our plugin, and how it works is that the portal is given an ID and it syncs to our back end. And then from there, you can either use you would use our base class in the project and get that required functionality with registering the ID. And then once you've done that, in the creator dashboard on the web, you can actually determine where you want it to take the user. And so this makes it really easy to maintain the system and actually edit it without having to generate a new build. So, it can be really cumbersome if you want to put a new Metasite in, and then you have to actually go in and change how it's change the URL, and then you would have to generate a new build and upload it. So this is all linked to our web layer where you can configure it and then quickly update. And so the next feature, it wouldn't be the web without links. So, these are really essential, and we didn't want to lose out on it with Metasites. So what we've done is let creators kind of create these links to let users join them in that exact moment in real time. So when you are in a Metasite and kind of just exploring, you can decide to create one of these links and share it on social media just like any other. And when someone joins, they'll actually spawn right next to you, and then you'll have like instant collaboration and kind of voice chat. So that's great for co-op gameplay or just having a meeting or something like that. Or I see something really cool and you can share it and kind of quickly get together. And then at the same time, these links set an anchor to that specific place in the world. So even after you've left the area, if someone uses that link, they go to where you were. And so this lets you kind of continue bringing people in, and which is great for pointing out landmarks or really special spots in a more organic way. And then as a benefit to those people who create these links and kind of share them, it has a referral system. So not only will the creator benefit from people kind of sharing these on social media and things like that, but the players who come into your spaces will actually be rewarded for doing that. And you'll be able to see and track like the activity across these links and see the usage. Next up, I quickly cover the some of the social features we have and where we're going. So right now, anyone who visits your Metasite has the opportunity to have instant proximity chat with other users who are nearby. And this works out of the box on all Metasites without creators having to actually spend development time, putting in some kind of voice chat system and maintaining that. So this works in the web layer of Metasites again. So it's actually in the browser, which takes a lot of the latency issues out because it's a stream solution. So then you're streaming the voice, and that would add some lag and delay. So by running it in the client, it's really quick, just like any other voice chat. And so it takes some of the overhead of maintaining these like large chat features from the game as well, which just leaves you more room to push your project further. Creators who use these Unreal tools don't have to configure or implement any of this in the engine. So it's supported out of the box when you're using our base character class. And then still under kind of development, we're working on a friend system. And so this is, a typical friend system. It'll just allow you to track and add friends and then instantly join them in Metasites and create kind of groups for the private gameplay sessions and things like that. And then finally, we want to bring these massive social hubs and events to Metasites. It's really in the early stages, but we're doing a lot of experiments and to see the limitations where that is, and pushing our cloud infrastructure to expand and support that. And then everyone's seen like, the Fortnite concert type thing where they're trying to bring, but there are limitations there. Fortnite can't handle more than 100 players, that type of thing. So we really want to let creators kind of make events like this that will push concurrency to really extreme levels. So doing something like that is really challenging. And so a part of that is our multiplayer networking. We're partnering with a company called Metabrowser. So they have a new networking product that is kind of built for scale. And this, again, is already integrated into the Metasite plugin. So you don't have to do any kind of replication code yourself. It's handled automatically, which is really great because a lot of creators don't really understand replication always. Multiplayer is pretty difficult. And so with that, we've seen thousands of players in the same location, and the performance is actually really great and playable. So a big part of that is just rendering that many actors is really difficult without losing that performance. So this is something we've been taking into account with our avatar system as well, really optimizing them and building them to scale like that. But the other side of it is the actual processing of that much network data. When you have that many people close by to each other, there's a lot of work to be done with relevancy and things like that we've already handled. So this provides instant networking to any creator who doesn't want to manage their own dedicated server fleet and things like that too. So, and a great benefit is that this server is run in the same cloud infrastructure and in the same regions as the actual cloud streaming. So there is really minimal latency between the actual instances and the multiplayer networking. So we've seen like very little need for correction logic and things like that. So I have a short video, and this showcases some of the work that Metagravity is doing and how we're really trying to push the next phase of networking. So yeah, that was a showcase of some of the projects that Metagravity's worked on, and that we're kind of partnering with them. And even in some of that, one of the things that's kind of revolutionary here is we actually replicate physics as well with this. So that when you saw the cars there, those were all chaos vehicles, all being replicated, hundreds of them at the same time, which is pretty new and novel. So yeah, while we're on the topic, I want to talk about the scale problem and some of the experiments we're doing at Xsolla with this system. So one of the major issues with multiplayer and cloud stream platforms is that ability to scale. And we're trying to solve for this in various ways. So as we talked about, Quark is really great for that. And so this gives you the option of having these large social hubs. So to test this, we ran these scale experiments in a few of our actual Metasites. And so this is the Suburban project. You can actually find this on the Metasite website right now. And so in this like open kind of park area, we really tried to push the limits of the replication. So these are actually bots, right? But it's not traditional. We didn't just take like AI characters and drop them in the scene and say, hey, look at the replication. This is actually character data, like player simulation data being sent in at the networking layer. So these are all processing this network data in real time on the scene. So that's a little bit different and more realistic. So, they all have different movement vectors hitting at the same rate that actual player data would. So this really showed like that we can actually hit the scale that we need with the networking system without it, having any stability issues. So the other side of the scale problem is actually the cloud systems. And so we run on cloud servers, which lets users instantly join without the friction of downloading the data to their local machine. But Scream at Scale has a constant barrier to bringing massive amounts of players into the same virtual space. So every year, we're partnering with more data centers and cloud providers who can kind of help bring costs down and give you more region-based, so lower latency systems. And then more GPUs become available. But we have a handful of different partners in this cloud space to help provide on-demand scale. So if you are actually going to do some kind of massive event, you would just kind of work with us and let us know, and we would make sure that you'll be able to hit those numbers without having to hit like a queuing system where people are waiting to join. But still limitations to this. So at the same time, we're developing the ability to let players use their own PCs for rendering. So we'll have like a desktop application version, and from there you'll be actually kind of download the Metasite to your machine and then use it as like a launcher. And so it'll have all the same features that the browser version does, but it lets you guys who probably have GPUs, and a lot of us do, to actually utilize that, which then opens us up to kind of the entire desktop market, and scale becomes a lot less of an issue. Yeah, so in either case, all you need to do is upload your build, and then it'll still work the same way. You don't have to like change your deployment for each platform. All right, so next up, I'm just going to go over some of the features that we have in development. So these are actually built to reach beyond Metasites. They're Xsolla products that will be used by game developers outside of that all over the place. And so some of the first users of them, though, will be the creators of Metasites. I guess we get kind of early access because it's all internal to us. But yeah, so we have an inventory system that we call the backpack, a system for drops, and a quest system, and then kind of Metasite specific is that creator dashboard I mentioned, where you can kind of manage your systems. So these will kind of help drive engagement and make them feel even more connected and interoperable, outside of Metasites, but to regular games and back too would be really great. So, and it'll also reward players who kind of engage the most with the content. So first up is our backpack system and the drops. This will allow you guys to make items that are accessible in all Metasites, and users will be able to trade and redeem those items. So at the same time, it'll come with the drop system, which will reward users with a variety of items. Like it can be just a cosmetic for avatars, but also we're looking at actually putting like CD keys as a random award, which could really like drive people to actually go and explore and try to find those, and discount codes and coupon codes like that will really kind of be a feedback loop for getting people to show up. So we plan on using our analytics, and we have like a heat map in development. So as a creator, again, you won't have to really put the effort in here. It'll be on us, where we're using these heat maps to kind of look at where players are going, and see the most active areas. And so these items will be able to just spawn dynamically without you having to manually implement it yourself. And I mean, you don't want it to be like right there when you join either. So we'll be able to put it in a nice spot where it kind of like gives some variety. Following up on that, it will be the quest system. So this is another kind of standalone product that goes across all of Xsolla. But for Metasites, we want to kind of incentivize users to explore and discover new artists and developers. So we'll actually have our own quests that kind of span across all Metasites. But you'll also be able to create your own and drive users in and give them rewards for exploring your own sites. And then, so finally, it's the creator dashboard. So we're really close to releasing this, and it's pretty feature complete and kind of critical for us. So this will be kind of the one place you guys have to join and edit your Metasite information. You'll be able to upload new builds here and view your analytics. And yeah, just in case you missed it, there's like subliminal sample chart data there to help you think positive things. So yeah, this will let you be, this is kind of like the landing page for your Metasite where you'll adjust your branding and manage your links and stuff like that. And it'll also let people, it's also where you can enter information to let people know all about you as a creator. So when your Metasite is out there, they can kind of like find out more about you and if they want to contact you directly about your content. And then with that, it'll have the analytics that I was talking about. So it'll show like where you're getting the most activity in your spaces, visualizing that with a heat map. And that'll really help improve engagement because you'll be able to understand how your Metasite is being experienced. And then it'll have some feedback and like error reporting tools, and this will let creators like get the most out of their content. You can see what's working and what's not. Yeah, so next I'm just going to show you a bit about how to create a Metasite. So to get started, we have our documentation available. And then at the end of the deck, there's actually QR codes for you guys that go directly to the documentation. And this will like help you get your project set up. And it's a great way to get onboarded. Our documentation is pretty good. And then from here, you'll find links to download the latest version of the Metasite plugin. And really, it's deceptively simple, right? Like from here, you kind of unzip the plugin and add it to your project and enable it just like any other. And then right now we support 5.4, 5.5, and I think it will work. I don't want to officially support 5.6 yet, but soon, right? So, but it'll probably work if you try it in 5.6 as well. And then in the future, this will be really easy with the plugin. We're trying to get it on the Fab Marketplace right now. And then you'll be able to directly access and update it without having to go out to the website. So yeah, once you have the plugin and have opened it up in the editor, you can find our example blueprints, and that will show you how to use some of the features. So this will do things like I was talking about earlier with the portal system, or using our avatar system like Ready Player Me for your characters. And then after the making all of the things, after activating all of the features you want, it's really just kind of like testing it. You really just need to try it out and make sure it does what you expect it to do. And then our documentation is there if you run into any kind of problems. And on that note of testing, right? The cloud streaming machines, they're pretty beefy, but not unbreakable. So you still have to be kind of cognizant. You can't just like throw every Megascans thing in there and expect it to run on a cloud device. But the nice part is those specs are very well defined. So you'll be able to kind of understand that and target one thing without having to worry about, oh, I have to target mobile and do a different set of textures and I have to target this. It's all just one. Yeah, so it'll be really easy to kind of profile and adjust that. Yeah, so after that, it's kind of, after you've tested and you think it's ready, you use the creator dashboard and you'll be able to just create a build for the Windows platform. So if you're already working in Windows, this makes it really simple. You don't have to worry about any custom configuration. And then we have some tools in development that once you've uploaded it to the creator dashboard, it'll kind of give you some automated feedback on where it thinks, and it'll try to make sure everything works. And then we have developers on our side as well who will make sure that if there are any problems with crashes or anything like that, we get back to you and work with you directly to fix them. And then we're working on kind of a ranking system. So it'll help give you kind of like some insight on what you can do to improve your Metasite and kind of get more users in there, and how to make those improvements and increase the time users spend. So once uploaded, you'll kind of configure your Metasite, and like I mentioned earlier, your branding materials, descriptions, screenshots, um, and it's also kind of where you can activate other features, like if you wanted to use the backpack system or you wanted to directly link to a GitHub account and that kind of thing, and integrate. Um, so once you've done that, it'll be visible in our dashboard as it enters like a review process where we make sure that everything launches and works properly. It'll transition once it's like confirmed to be kind of safe and playable for the community. Um, and then it'll be kind of up to you as a creator to decide when you want to launch. So as a creator, you can have kind of like private sessions where you're testing it out and inviting your other developers in to see how it is. But then you decide when it goes public, so that you can control this access. Um, yeah, so just to kind of recap on some of the benefits here. Yeah, this gives you real-time collaboration with your projects. It's really easy to kind of iterate where you're uploading, and if you have someone across the world who's just on the phone, they can still see and get those and kind of test it out for you, and then continue to do that iteration and new uploads. It opens up your content to people on all devices without having to adapt your project or compromise on visual fidelity. Again, like we don't have to uh, generate a really like low poly version for different devices. Um, yeah, because Xsolla knows monetization really well, and you get to upload your project for free, and then as users come in, uh, you don't need to actually manage that payment processing yourself. Uh, we will actually just end up giving you the money that users come in and pay, and then we keep a portion to manage the infrastructure. Yeah, so it's really innovative. I mean, not many people are able to say like, I have a 3D website that people pay to visit. So it's a great talking point. And it's relatively low risk. Your project is streamed to the user. So even if you're kind of in the early stages where you're just testing out experiments, you're not exposing build files to the people you share it with. It's all kind of protected. And if you decide to kind of change your tactic or your build, they won't have any of the old content. And then, as I said, you don't pay anything for hosting and making it available through the service. It's kind of all handled on our end. And that's kind of it. So after that, once it goes through that review process, it'll end up listed in this catalog. So that's our website where we're kind of showcasing our pilot projects for Metasites. Yeah, so I showed you a bit about the technical details and a new platform to launch your projects in the cloud. We covered some of the current and future features and how to create and launch your Metasite. So whether you're an engineer, an artist, or an entire studio looking to build kind of the next generation of online experiences, our ecosystem really offers the tools and scale to make it possible. And if you're interested in learning more, we have a booth right outside. So feel free to drop by and let's talk about it. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, I mean, we have a few minutes. If anyone has any questions, feel free. Sure.
What sort of latency do you get at the moment?
It really depends on region, but it's pretty quick. I mean, it's sub 50 if you're like we have like if you have servers in Frankfurt and people are in England, like it's great. It's pretty good.
And what is the sort of streaming protocol under the hood? Something you guys cooked up, or is it WebRTC or something else?
I think it's WebRTC based. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Looks awesome what you guys have built. It's a huge project, very impressive undertaking.
Yeah. It's a lot of different techs coming together, right? So yeah, it's great.
Maybe I missed it. What end devices do you support to play?
Any device that'll run a browser. So really, you could put it on your smart TV, your phone, tablet, desktop. It kind of goes everywhere. And it's also got controller support. I don't know if I mentioned that. So like you can just use an actual controller and kind of have a natural input, even though it's through the browser.
Okay, thanks.
How about the payment gateway? Is there local support for Indonesia?
Support in what way?
Payment gateway like we don't have maybe student don't have any credit card. They use local payment gateway like
Give it to
GoPay or.
Aaron, can you cover that one?
We are currently in the midst of discussing with our Indonesian counterparts to support as many as possible local Indonesian payments. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Sounds like that's it.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah. Thank you guys.